Hello and welcome to our first video of the Polynomials subseries in our FSMQ main series. This is just a recap of the quadratic stuff from GCSE, Factorising and Quadratic Formula today. Let's get on with this. So let's start with factorising. Here's an example equation. It's probably the easiest one you could probably get. And this is just a plain old one where the coefficient of x squared is just simply 1. And so you take the end number, in this case 6, and the middle number, which is 5, and you have to find what multiplies to make 6 and adds to make 5. In this case it's 2 and 3. And then you put these into brackets. So x plus 2 times by x plus 3 equals 0. And then I like to draw a line up in the middle and split it apart, because each part with your timesing by 0 on either side is still going to equal 0. So either one could be equal to 0. And then you just solve those equations. So you get x equals minus 2 and x equals minus 3. So when the coefficient of x squared is greater than 1 though, you need to do a little bit extra. So you multiply the first coefficient by the last number. So in this case you get plus 20 and then you're adding to make plus 9 still. So that's 4 and 5. And then you have to split it up instead. So if you split it up like this into 4x and 5x, and then factorize each part individually to get the same bracket. So this is x plus 2. And then, because they're both common, therefore then 2x and 5 can be put in a bracket together as well, like this. And then from there, you just solve normally. So split it apart, solve it, you get x equals minus 5 over 2 and x equals minus 2. Finally, we have the quadratic formula. This is probably the easiest one of all different methods of solving. Here's an example equation, and you just have to make sure that it's not asking you to factorize. If not, you can use this. And it looks like it's not going to be a whole number because nothing splits apart correctly. Here's the quadratic formula in case you forgot. It will be on your equation sheet. You plug it in, so you have ax squared plus bx plus c. So you plug those all in to get this. You just type that into your calculator and it gives you your answers. X is approximately 0.53 and x is approximately minus 2.53. So let's get on with some practice questions. Okay, so this is our first practice question. Solve 2x squared plus 9x plus 7 equals 0. So we start just as we did in the explanation, by multiplying 7 by 2 to get 14. And then we split it apart. What adds up to get 9? 2 and 7. They match. So therefore, you split it out, 2x squared plus 2x plus 7x plus 7 equals 0. And then you can factorize each bit out, x plus 1 plus 7, x plus 1. And because they're both the same, you can then take out the 2x plus 7, x plus 1 equals 0. Line in between to show you're splitting them up. 2x plus 7 equals 0. X plus 1 equals 0, x equals minus 7 over 2, x equals minus 1. And there's your answers. Okay, so this is our next practice question. Solve 4x squared plus 3x minus 8 equals 0, and we must give our answer to 2 decimal places. Okay, and so we begin. This, obviously, because it says to 2 decimal places, it's not going to be a whole number, and therefore we can't use factorization. You have to remember that. So we're using quadratic formula. So let's start by writing out it. So x equals minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Okay, and so now we're going to substitute it all in and work out. We've got minus 3 plus or minus square root of 3 squared minus 4 times by 4 times by minus 8 all over 2 times by 4. And now I produce our calculator for today, and let's type it in. We've got minus 3, let's start with the plus square root of 3 squared minus 4 times minus 8 over 2 times 4. And it gives us a bunch of nonsense. You want to press S to D to give us the decimal, and then we're doing this to 2 decimal places, so we get approximately 1.09. And then our second answer, we go back, use the arrow buttons, delete that, replace it with a minus, and this time we get x is approximately minus 1.84. And then these are your answers. Welcome to our 4-mark segment of the video. In this section, we do 4 questions on each of the different styles of question you could get on this one topic. So today it's factorization and quadratic formula. We've got pure, applied, proof and riddle questions, and you can have a go at any one of them or all 4 of them if you want, and I'll see you in a second once you've answered one of them. Okay, so let's go through the answers. For pure, we've got this simple, just a is more than 1 quadratic, and you just have to factorize it out and then split it and solve each section, just as I taught. And now here we have the applied. You just substitute it into quadratic formula, and you have to get rid of the negative because you can't have a negative amount of days. Make sure to keep it to 2 decimal points as well, just in case. Proof, it's all about the fact that anything multiplied by 0 is 0, so either bracket could be 0 and the answer will still be 0, so that's why you can split it out into 2 smaller equations. And then for riddle, it's you have to set it equal to each other and then move it all to one side. You can divide it all by 2, that's a good tip if you ever see that in an exam, and then split it out, solve it, check which one actually works. As you can see, -3 results in negative amounts of marbles, which doesn't work, so therefore you just use 109 plus 12 because there was 12 more originally to get 120 more marbles. Okay, thank you for making it to the end of the video. In the next one, we'll be continuing this sub-series and doing completing the square. Now, if you want a worksheet for this lesson, you can find it in the description alongside our half-termly article. This half-terms was on what's the best way to teach maths and how do students respond. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.